Welcome to the third video in the collage project. For this part of the project, all you're going to do is you are going to collect the images that we are going to add to your collage. So to do that, you need to start thinking about what your interests are and what your favorite things are and all of that. So if your, let's say, favorite food is pancakes, which it should be, you can go ahead, type pancakes into Google and go to images. In there, let's go to tools and we'll go to size and choose larger than, go larger than somewhere around here. It doesn't have to be exact, but I would say at least this size, 800 by 600. These two options are definitely too small. This might be even pushing it a little bit as far as being too small, but it should be okay. Okay, so we'll go somewhere around there and then find an image that you like. Okay, this one looks fantastic. Okay, I am going to right click on my image and go to Save Image As. When I do that, I come to a new dialog box in here. Decide where you're going to put it. I'm going to put mine on my desktop. I'll make a new folder. It will be Collage About Me. Hit Create, and I can just save it according to what the author had named it, or I can shorten that, and we're going to do pancakes. Save it as a JPEG, that's fine. If it saves it as a different file type, that's okay too. Okay, so I've got one of my 15 objects. Again, you need at least 15 objects that you are going to Photoshop into the background. In thinking about what my other interests are, let's see, I like camping, I like kayaking, I am a golfer, I like snowboarding, I like eating a lot, so mine would probably include some other food. Like I really like pizza, so I might Google pizza when I do that. Just keep in mind that some of these images are going to be a little bit easier to add to your collage than others. So this one, for example, would get a little bit dicey because you would have a hard time cutting this out and making it separate. For just more specifically, like right now, I could cut out this right side okay, but when we got to the left side, we'd have some cropping issues with the very square cropping on the left hand side. So I could cut out this individual piece, but then I would have again kind of that same issue where I'd have to cut it off pretty abruptly down at the bottom here. So that might not work the best. So maybe a better option would be something like this, nice and simple, and I could cut it out as a simple circle pretty much. So that one might be better. So I'm going to go right click, save image as, and put that in my folder. So that's my pizza. Perfect. I like Harry Potter, so I'll do Harry Potter wand. I can choose whichever one of these I want. This one looks pretty good right here. Again, open it up, right click, save image as, and we'll put that in that folder. You are just going to repeat that process for at least 15 images. I say 15. If you want to do 20, that's perfectly fine if you can fit all of those in there. Some of them obviously you can make a little bit bigger, like this wand will not take up a lot of space in my image. So if I wanted to include more than 15, I would probably have space for it. Make sure to pay attention to what that file size is for the images you're looking for. But go ahead, figure out what your interests are, and go ahead and find images that represent those. So if you're into cars, go ahead and Google cars. A specific type of car would be fine, or motorcycles, or boats, or if you like knitting, find some knitting needles and some yarn. If you like to sew, find a sewing machine. If you like to bake cakes, picture of a cake. Okay, so go ahead, include all of your interests and favorite things. If you do not have any interests, then you're probably going to have to make some up. Actually, I'm sure that you do have interests. I've had students say that before, where they aren't interested in a lot of stuff, and I would probably tend to disagree with them. So even if you just like to sit in your basement in the dark and play video games, you already have a few interests right there. So if you can find some way to represent darkness in your collage, we can include that. But if you're playing video games, there are other things involved in video games. So you have the console, the controller, the game itself, maybe some different aspects of the game. You could come up with at least probably 5 of your items just through that video game. If you like to eat spicy Cheetos as you're watching, or as you're playing your video game, then there you go. That's one more interest. If you like to drink Mountain Dew while you're doing those things, then again, that's one more interest. If you have a certain chair that you like to sit in when you're playing those video games, again, that's one more of your favorite things that you can include in your collage. So again, this collage is meant to be all about you. So find all of your favorite things, the things that you like or like to do, or however you want to represent yourself in this collage. That is exactly what we're going for here. So all you have to do for this step then is to collect all 15 plus images and put them in a folder. That is it until later.